I did some measuring there and found out that I'm gonna make this one 30 inches. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to measure this and mark it. Okay, so I make sure that I've got my lip facing out here because it's going to snap in like that. And I'm going to make 30 inches. Well, on your first impression, you may think, okay, just measure over from here 30 inches. Well, I want this right-hand edge to stay. Okay, so I got to measure from this side here. So I got to pull my tape from there, and I'm going to measure over 30 inches. And I don't want to measure it on the surface because I'm going to cut this with a skill saw on the back side. If I cut from the front side with a skill saw, it could rip this up, okay? So that's the last thing I want to do. So I don't want to mark this on the front, okay? So I'm going to put my tape over here, 30 inches. I'm just going to mark the lip, okay? Now I can flip this up, and I can see that mark, and I can put a mark there, okay? Now I've got a square. I put that on there and just mark this like 2 times or so. I want to have it show up. If you mark it once, sometimes it doesn't show up too well and it starts ripping this because this is that foam backing, do you remember? So when I cut this off, I'm just going to flip this over like that and cut that right there with the skill saw. Just a few things for you to consider. If you don't have a skill saw, that's okay. You can cut this with a hand saw if you want. But if you're going to cut with a hand saw, you want to cut from the front side. If you cut with a jigsaw, you're going to want to cut from the front side. If you cut with a skill saw, you want to cut from the back. If you're cross-cutting, if you want to rip this whole length, you can cut it from the front with a skill saw as you're ripping this way. Okay? But if you're doing cross cuts, you always want to mark and cut from the back if you're using a skill saw.